Toronto area home prices have dropped by 12% in February compared to this time last year. And to talk about the plunge, we're with Davelle Morrison with Bosley Real Estate. Davelle, should we be concerned by these latest numbers?
I think we need to look a little bit deeper into the numbers. So if we look at, for example, the beginning of the year, the new stress test that came in January the 1st, that's a factor. We should also be looking at the fact that the bank rate increased in January. That's also a factor for having less buyers in the market. But the other thing we should look at is the condo market is actually up in the central core of Toronto by 10%. And the 905 is definitely down a lot more. But if you look at homes, let's say semi-detached houses in central Toronto, they are actually up slightly. So I think you really need to peel back the numbers and look at every single pocket.
Are we seeing a case in point where there are some markets that are actually not doing so well and that people are actually losing or even just breaking even and not making that profit margin that they're hoping to make?
I would say not in the Toronto Central Core. For people in the Toronto Central Core market, whether it's a house or a condo, people who purchased 2 years ago, if they sell this year, they're still making money. The 905 area is actually where you're seeing some of the significant declines.
Toronto area home prices have dropped by more than 12% in February compared to the same time last year. Now I'm with Davelle Morrison with Bosley Real Estate. Davelle, we talked about some of the reasons why we saw this plunge. Let's talk about the future. Where's the market heading from here?
Well, condos are very strong right now. So it's definitely a time if someone wants to take advantage of the buoyant condo market, it's certainly a good time to sell. I would say the condo prices will continue to go up. I think that if you are a condo dweller and you'd like to move up to a house, now's actually a really good time to do that.
Now, we talked about the market here in Toronto down by more than 12%. The market in Montreal is actually up by 5%. Is there any correlation between those two?
Well, I think if we look at the recent foreign buyers tax that happened back in April, you could see that the BC market was up. The foreign buyer tax came in. People started buying in Toronto. Toronto got the foreign buyer tax, and then now people have sort of migrated over to Montreal. And we can also look at the fact that the Montreal market is simply cheaper than the Toronto market. So I think people are definitely migrating to cheaper markets. And I think you see that around the Toronto GTA, where you see investors migrating to markets like Coburg or Hamilton or elsewhere around the GTA just to get cheaper prices.